guys, it's Nikki. Hello! Today we're playing Pokémon. It all started out when I found a temple, and I decided to go in, of course, to get the treasure that was stored inside for me. I looked down, looking at the pressure plate, destroyed it, make sure I don't activate the TNT. So I opened and wow, I found a loot. So after I took all the loot I could, I made sure I had nothing to do with the temple again. So I saw that it had already been getting late and I couldn't go outside because I thought there were monsters that spawned here. Because I didn't know this world much, who knows, there could be green-headed, three-headed monster out there. So I decided not to go. I stay here. And when I turned back, I saw a Lillipup right behind me. Spooky, right? But yet cute. So I pressed shift on my keyboard and I found this. It's level 14 and wow, it has a lot of hearts. Looks as if it's been fighting. So I just read the information about the Lillipup all night and then I got tired of its information. So after that, I kept on reading more. When I was just about while reading, well, something just asked for a battle. And that was my first battle in Pokémon. I tried to look what was the thing that actually tried to activate the battle. And it was actually Lillipup. I trusted her. But anyways, we battled and Fennekin lost. Because Lillipup was only level 14 and Fennekin was level 7 or so. So I lost due to Lillipup's powers. Well, I looked at my book looking at disgrace, because I had not completed any of these tasks yet, except to find the village and the other one. Well, while it was getting to morning, I grabbed my crafting table, which I never knew I put there, and started to mine all the materials I had found here. Well, I found my inventory was full, so I had to spare some stuff, like this dirt. Sorry, Mr. Dirt, but it had to go. I saw all this sweet coal and minerals. Well, I tried pressing R and the book was right. It can mine a lot, like a lot of cobblestone at once. Well, I tried it and my pickaxe broke, so I had to make a new one. And I had to throw the dog's medicine. So I crafted a new pickaxe for new mining. Only to find Lillipup had fallen in the hole. Well, I had to save her and I mistakenly fell in the hole myself. Well, I had to climb out in fright. I thought my copper would stay here in this dark place alone. So I had to risk one of my inventory objects to save my sticks and copper. Well, I couldn't get them all, so I had to sacrifice the sticks. Well, I went afterwards, thinking I'd get stuck forever. I couldn't build up. I lost hope for nothing. Looking up at Lillipup, begging for her mercy, thinking it was the end. But something told me to keep trying. Well, I actually made it and I was shocked. Well, I had to leave Lillipup here since she was stubborn to follow me. But before I did that, I made sure I collected all the minerals here. Well, I took all the stacks of coal. And, well, I could not take them because my inventory was full. I needed to make sure it was in my inventory. So I had to make a plan. Looking at all the stuff I had, and looking at all the stuff that were in my inventory that I did not need, I threw out the useless ones, just like the sand. Well, and started collecting my coal. Then I just realized the coal was under that big hole I just fell into. So I was not taking that much of a risk. Looking at Lillipup with despair. How could you, Lillipup? I trusted you. Well, it was nice knowing her. Well, I could not get up because I threw my sand, but luckily I had enough wood to spare. So after that, I was thinking of grabbing the copper, but I was like, nah, let me just grab the iron first, because anything could happen at any moment. So I looked at my inventory again, throwing the useless stuff, just like the copper ore I almost picked up. And this sand. I don't know where it came from. I thought I'd throw it in the pit. Well, anyway, as you can see, I was exploring the city trying to find out stuff. But on that same day, I found out that there was a big competition happening. So I took place, and it was 1 out of 4 players included. So I decided to take place in the competition. And wow, it was a very big one. Well, I could not stand a crowded place, so I just kept quiet, minding my own business. Long story cut short, a lot of Pokemons got injured on that day. So I didn't learn my lesson because Fennekin did not get that injured. Besides, I don't think he got injured. Well, after the competition, nobody won, so I was waiting for another one, but I realized it'd take another probably 1 hour or so for another competition. So I didn't have time for that. I tried going to look for a base and well, I found one. And wow, it had a lot of loot there. It's where I spend my night and probably keep my most valuable stuff. After that, as you can see, I had very big problems climbing this ladder. It took about a lot of minutes there. I thought the game was broken for a second, but it was actually the ladder. And yes, I was here for almost an hour now, and I thought the ladder was about to give up on me. But it turns out it actually started working again. So I took some break off and had a night rest. By morning, I had a good sleep. But then, when I was about to leave my house, as you can see, I had a fight with another Pokemon. And well, it did not turn out great because it was a long fight. But I won at the end, and so I discovered a new area of the village, which had another fight going on there. So I beat the Pokemon, and I actually left the prizes he left out because it was expired candy and rotting loot. But I decided to take it in case if the shopkeepers might want it because they like garbage stuff. If you want to trade this, they'll take that. That is how useless the shopkeepers are in this village. Well, another fight went on and I ended up winning. But I ended up going to ask villagers for the quest after I was done. So some asked me for a really hard task which I couldn't do, so I just went to bed thinking about all the impossible stuff they just asked me. When I woke up in the morning, I didn't feel refreshed at all. In fact, I felt frustrated. Looking at the house I was living in, the roof was too short. The villagers that asked me for stuff were like frustrating, so I had to do one step at a time. And after going to the shopkeepers, I found out my egg was hatching. I came back home and I had to hatch them all. I thought there were 2 eggs that were hatching, but there were actually 3 eggs that were hatching. So I was lucky enough. After that, I found out that I had great Pokemons that spawned. I was so excited because I got Caterpie, whatever his name was, Sandshrew, and Jigglypuff. And Jigglypuff was my favorite, not only because she was a girl Pokemon, but because she had higher levels than all my other Pokemons. But that didn't stop me from upgrading my other Pokemons. But still, she was better than the others. So I just grabbed some eggs and went to the shopkeepers so they can see what they have to buy from me. And well, I made things pretty expensive because I didn't have any money, so I also had to survive by making my goods expensive. And by the end of our trading, obviously I had a lot of money, and they thanked me for them buying from me. What a great shop. Great costing, and you can bribe your way through without them even knowing. Well, I went back home, seeing what I had in my chest so that I could sell them to the shopkeepers. Well, I had some pretty good stuff, but I also liked them. I was afraid to sell them to the shopkeepers. because they're the rarest stuff I've ever found in Minecraft. But anyways, I took the rare stuff to the shopkeeper. I took one of each of the rarest things I had. So I looked in my chest again and I had a second thought. Well, but nah. I was like, the money's worth it. So I went back to the shopkeepers. And I thought the door was the other way. After finding the actual doorway to the shop again, I thought again about selling my fire gems, and I was thinking of selling one of them. But I looked at the good pricing of the good stuff they sell, so I didn't bother to sell any of my fire gems because they were extremely rare. And I mistakenly bought fresh water. Imagine how much money I'd wasted. Well, and none of my Pokemons wanted the fresh water. Come on, it's good stuff. Well, at least I could shake it. Look, I'm shaking. Anyways, after that, I quickly ran to Santa. And Santa, well, was minding his own business farming. Until I disturbed his farming and went to tell him how boring his conversations were. And, well, we had a talk going on, and he rudely insulted me, so I jumped on his farm. And he just stood there looking at me. This was a bonus because I didn't get hurt. And I was thinking of what I just did because I would be on the naughty list. So after that moment of thought, I thought about being on the naughty list, but anyways, I didn't care because as long as I was with my Pokemons, I was cool. So a girl like me needed a walk. After all, I was stressed and stuff. But when I stumbled across another Pokemon which wanted a fight, so I gave him the fight of his life. And plus, both Jigglypuff and my opponent were the same levels, so we had a really tough competition, especially when Jigglypuff was running out of strength. And the other one was gaining strength out of nowhere. I don't know how they do that. So I was lost, but yet feeling strong because I hoped I had a chance of winning. Not with that deerling beating up my Pokemons like that. But anyways, it looked good. Things were going good until that happened. He just kept on regaining his health back, which I thought was not fair. So I and my team, obviously my Pokemon team, kept on battling. But at the end, I don't know who won and who lost. So I used Pidgey, or Piggy, whatever his name is. I used Tackle on Darlene and he just beat the hell out of Piggy. So he was weak and I ended up winning the duel. So there came the next battle with Tailo, if that's the name. So I used Senshu to beat the hell out of him since he was only level 10 and Senshu was level 18, which was very easy for me because Senshu was barely getting damaged on him. Never mind. But at least my opponent was about to get destroyed. In fact, he was destroyed. So I was really happy about that because I was learning more with and from my Pokemons. But to be honest, I and my Pokemons had fun that day, even though it was really not fair for some of our time in that day. But I moved on in my life, trying to discover the woods. Then I realized it was getting too late for that. Then I picked up a green thingy. It was called Infernal Essence or whatever it's called. I didn't like the name and the look. And I met Gideon. Well, I just let him go and I made sure he didn't come close to me Cause if he did, he was gonna challenge me. I just realized Sensei had disappeared. And what I was hoping for was that he did not put me on the naughty list. I was very tired this night, so I decided to pack my home, arrange my inventory, make sure it was nice and clean and free. So I packed a chest, made another chest out of that chest. It was complicated that night. Well, I made a chest out of a chest. Well, that's the important part. And so the next day is where I thought maybe I should move out of my old home. So I went to my old home or my old house to take out all my stuff, made sure there was nothing left. Well, except the chest if I wanted, because my new home is now getting crowded and I don't like that. But I went to my new house thinking why I'd leave the door open for some stranger to enter. But anyways, I did not care as long as my stuff went in there. I took my bone, my rich wood, and my plate. Bye bye, old house. Well, at least I'm moving on to that big castle. I mean, look at it. Who wouldn't want to live there? Even Santa lives in 2 homes in this village. He lives in the creepy house and this big tower right here. I mean, I love this tower. It's just that it needs a little work. Yeah, it needs a little work. So I climbed up the ladder to my storeroom. Well, my base was all nice and clean. Well, that is how I survived some days in Pokémon. With my Pokémons, I did so much better in this Pokémon world. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to give a like for this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bells. It's Nikki, holla! Out! Thanks for watching. Bye!